What's cracking, guys? Omar Isaf here, back with another video, a little bit of a shorter video in this video today, because we're talking about biceps. Yes, I know, biceps. Here's the thing, I might not have the biggest biceps. I might have sworn off training arms directly, at least in the short term, because Coach Kennedy said, you know what, man, your front rack sucks. Stop that shit, focus on this weightlifting. So that is something I am trying to improve long term. Right now, I want to talk about biceps, a recent study that is actually pretty damn cool that sheds some light. Because here's the thing, let's be honest. Let's be honest with ourselves as bros. Can we just for a minute have a truth speak where we just tell the truth? Biceps are one of those muscles where we use too much weight, we use too much momentum, and we're not directly targeting that little muscle group. Think about it. Biceps, there are only two muscles here. There's some supporting players, but oftentimes, and by often I mean damn near every time, we'll use momentum. Our back, other movements, our shoulders to swing the weight up, thus not properly targeting the bicep. So we increase the load without increasing the quality of the repetitions. Why? Ego. We think more weight, bigger gains, everyone's going to be admiring me, right? Wrong. I want to talk about this study because when it comes to bicep training, my tip that I would share when I approach back training biceps later on in the year after my front rack's looking pretty good and I take these from 16 inches to 16.5 inches. 16.5 inches. Would be effort. Effort is key. Like I said, there was a recent study. I'm going to break this down. The study took a look at two different groups. The first group lifted no weight. I'm not even kidding you. And keep in mind, these are lifters. These aren't people from the streets. These are lifters. They took people that would not be using any load. So they're just using their arm. All they're doing was curling up, imagining that they were curling and they're squeezing, they're contracting, much like in posing. You're trying to contract as hard as possible, peak contraction, everything. So you would extend with the elbow, you'd flex at the elbow in order to squeeze the bicep as hard as possible. They get EMG feedback so they knew how hard they're squeezing. They're encouraged to do so, but essentially it was using no load whatsoever. So they're going up, squeezing as hard as possible, going all the way down, same thing. I believe they did 20 repetitions. They did several sets of that. Then the other group did the normal stuff that you would see. So they did 70% of their 1 rep max. I believe they did 8 to 12 repetitions. They did a few sets of that. They studied this over a period of, I believe it was 6 weeks, and they took a look at the gains both groups received. And guess what? Strength-wise, those that obviously lifted with the load got stronger. Cool. But in terms of increasing the size of their biceps, both were the same. Mic drop moment. What's going on there? Wait a second. Wait. One group's just doing nothing. They're just curling as hard as possible, imagining contracting the actual muscle, and the other group is using a load, and yet they still built the same amount of muscle during this short period of time. What the hell does this mean? Well, it means that effort, really contracting, feeling, and stimulating the bicep is probably the most important factor when it comes to getting bigger biceps, and that's in direct contrast to the traditional bro style of bicep training, using way too much weight. Your biceps are probably handling 20, 30, 40% of the load. Your back, your shoulders, everything else is taking up the majority of the lift, and thus the quality of the stimulation, key word, key phrase, hey now, of your arms or your biceps, it's rather poor, right? You're not actually targeting your biceps. That's why I think a lot of intelligent bodybuilders talk about this, right? They talk about the contraction. Certain muscle groups, big ones, right? Your chest, when you bench press, guess what? That sucker, you got a lot of real estate here. It's going to be involved one way or another. Your biceps, because they're a smaller muscle group and you're prone to using other areas, what will happen when you attempt to increase the load and not contract and put in that effort directly into the bicep itself? Well, everything else is doing the work. Your biceps are probably stagnating. And that's one of the major reasons I personally believe that when it comes to training in general, arms are something where you need a little bit more attention, a little bit more patience, a little bit more focus, once again, on that contraction. This study is interesting because it highlights that fact. Sometimes, we say this often, right? As coaches, you'll hear, gotta check your ego at the door. And some people think, that's fucking cool and all, but bro, I'm curling a plate. I'm curling a plate. Not so, young grasshopper. Sometimes, truly checking your ego at the door and focusing on the quality of the rep, on that contraction, and ultimately the effort with respect to the total load you're using is most important. So it's not just about the load, it's about quality. You could do higher repetitions, lighter load. You could do a moderate repetition, moderate load. Any which way you do it, just make sure you're using A, the biceps, so you're not using momentum, and B, you're squeezing the shit out of it, because again, it's a small muscle group. That mind-muscle connection, feeling it might take you a little bit of time. If you feel sore the next day after you do this, you watch this video, and you really just focus on that contraction, that's probably a good sign. DOMS isn't always an indication of building muscle, but it'll be a good sign that you're targeting that area maybe a little bit more by getting that contraction. Anyways, guys, that is the video. That's all I really want to say. Trying to bring you some of the evidence. The link to that study will be in the description, highlighting how we approach training, because as natural lifters, we have to do everything in our power in order to maximize what we got. And this is one of those tips. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked the video, Alice, how many likes are we going for? Give me something realistic.
25.
25 likes. Oh, guys, get it to 25 likes.
25,000.
25,000 likes. I'm looking right at you. You watched the whole video. You thought either, it's pretty good, fuck this guy with no calves, or I'll like the video, like the damn video, and I'll be seeing all you guys, my rascals, in that next video. Peace. P.S. I just want to say, you can definitely see the nipples this whole time. And I know you need to know your viewers, and I know more nipples, less quality content for you guys. For you guys. What up, pimps?